Starting a consulting business from scratch is not easy, and a lot of people make very common mistakes in their consulting startup, and that's what we're going to be talking about this week. So it's a few years since I started my first consulting business, 23 years in fact, and I've started a few along the way. I've made some mistakes, and I've seen lots of other people make mistakes as well with their management consulting startups. So this week, I thought we'd talk about 4 really common mistakes. Now do stay tuned because I've got a question for you at the end and also a bit of a giveaway. So what are these 4 common mistakes? And if you can think of any others, do please comment down below. Number 1, how would I describe this? The expert who doesn't know how to run a business. Have you ever read that book by Goldratt? It was called The Goal. There's The Goal and The Goal Revisited. And it's a fantastic business book. It's written as a novel. And the essence of it is that a lot of experts start a business and fail. So his classic example is, I think a baker decides to open a pie shop. And he's great at making pies, but he can't run a shop and a business. The hairdresser, who's a fantastic hairdresser, who opens a hair salon and doesn't really know how to run a business properly, and it fails. That's what I'm talking about. You might be an expert in your niche, great experience and all the rest of it, but that's not enough if you're going to run a management consulting company. You need broader business skills as well. You've got to run the business. You've got to understand, the sales and the marketing and all the rest of it. So that is really, really important. Don't just think you can be a consultant because you're an expert in something. You actually need broader business skills as well. So that brings me up to number 2, which is actually understanding particularly sales and marketing. So of course, you've got to understand finance and IT and all the elements of your new business or the business you're about to start. But probably the most important things, you've got to get your head around sales and marketing. So again, it's no good being the expert if you don't know how to promote what you're doing with your marketing and drive sales leads and how to have that sales interaction and close sales leads. Do look around on this channel. There's loads of videos on those topics. So that would definitely be mistake number 2, getting into it without really understanding the broader skill sets required. It's probably one of the most common failings that I see. I see lots of people, funnily enough, who've been ex-consulting clients of mine, and they say, oh, I've decided to leave and try consulting, like it's something really easy to do. And 90% of them, after about 6 months, go and get another job because they say, how do you find work? I'm great at what I do, but where do you find the clients? Well, that's the secret to having a successful consulting company. It's the sales and marketing, the technicians you can hire. So number 1, don't just be the expert, you've got to have broader experience. Number 2, make sure you really understand sales and marketing particularly. Number 3, plan for growth. So whilst most people, I'm not sure what the statistics are, but I think it's about 90% of people who start a small business fail within 5 years. And it's probably a lot higher for consulting companies. So most people don't make it. So if you've started a consulting business and you've got beyond year 1, well done. If you're thinking of starting a consulting business, plan, make sure you're not one of those statistics. It can be done. But I would say plan for growth. So when I started my first consulting business 23 years ago, I actually did a full business plan. I did a full org chart of the business as it was going to be in 5 years' time. With those revenues in 5 years' time and the structure and all of these different people, I planned for the growth. And guess what? I started in July 1997 with my consulting business, and I was very lucky I had a business partner. We both started with nothing. And in that first year, I think we turned over $700,000. Not bad, eh? For 2 guys from scratch with no startup capital. If you want to know how we did that, I'll actually put a link down below, and I think it's the 7 essential steps to starting a consulting business or something, over on our blog. Go and download that and have a look, because that is actually the business plan that I used 23 years ago for our business. So plan for growth. Don't plan to fail. So I'll digress for a minute. I saw a wonderful interview on YouTube the other day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it was one of these motivational talks at a conference. He was being interviewed. And you'll see where this fits. He was saying, never have a plan B. No plan B. That's preparing to fail. So, when you're starting your business, I'm saying prepare for growth. So saying, just as Arnie says, no plan B. If you've got a plan B, that's a crutch you're going to fall back on. So plan for growth, number 3. Number 4. Oh, this is probably the biggest mistake that people make. They will take on any business that comes their way. So they've opened their business, they put the sign above the door, metaphorically, and they're desperate for a client. And the first client who walks in the door, they pounce on them and they want to service that client. Don't. I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago on this channel, I did a couple of videos. I think one was how to spot a bad client at 100 meters, and 5 red flags, I think it was, with bad clients. Please, 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 if you are starting consulting, you're just getting into it, do not be desperate about clients. So what that means is plan that you don't need to take every client who knocks on your door. Don't take the bad ones. They will grind you into the ground, stress you out. They are not worth it. Have a very clear idea in your mind, the sort of companies, the sort of people that you want to work with, and pick them. Pick your clients carefully. Everybody I see who starts out in consulting, they're so desperate for sales, they'll just take anything. I did it. Yep, hands up, I did it. And in the early years, had a couple of shocking clients who were a nightmare. And I should not have taken them on. Because what happens, you take on that nightmare client, and then of course, the ideal client just knocks on the door and you're too busy with the nightmare. And well, pick your clients. So there we go. 4 common mistakes. Quick video this week. 4 common mistakes that people make when they're starting up management consulting businesses. Don't think just because you're the expert in a particular thing that it's going to work. You need more than that. Number 2, particularly you need to understand sales and marketing. Number 3, plan for growth, plan for success. And you can download that, my original business plan and growth plan. And number 4, don't take anything that comes along. Be very careful about who you pick for clients. Now, so I mentioned I was going to ask a question, and there's a couple of giveaways. So first link down below will be to that business plan on our blog. Second link, if you haven't read the goal, I've actually had the goal read for you and summarized, and I'll put a link to that down below. Now, I can't remember which website it's on, so it may actually be on a website related to one of my other channels, such as Virtual Done Well. But don't worry about it. Just jump onto that link and you'll be able to download that book summary. And then the third thing I wanted to mention is the question. What are the things that you're struggling most with in either your initial year or 2 startup management consulting business or in planning your management consulting business? I would love to hear. Please, please do comment down below and I'll tell you why. Because whenever I start a new venture, start a new business, a new channel, I like to be able to share a lot of knowledge on that particular topic. And if you look on here, this one, More Time, More Money, that book is all about utilizing virtual assistants to help you grow your business and that sort of thing. So that there's a channel, there's a business behind that. That's one of my businesses. Supply Chain Secrets, that's a book all about supply chain. My main business is management consulting and supply chain. So I actually have 5 books on supply chain. I don't have a book on consulting. So I think it's about time I wrote a book for startup consultants, and it can be associated with this channel. So you tell me what you'd like to see in that book, and I'll write it and I'll make it available free as an ebook, or for $1 on Kindle or something like that, depending how big it is. But I think it's about time I wrote a book about management consulting. So what would you like to know? What are some of the things that worry you? What are some of the things that you've had happen that you wished you knew how to fix? any topic related to management consulting, stick it down below and I'll start compiling all of that, and I'll get to work on a book for management consulting that you can have access to. Depends how much free time I've got. I generally churn a book out in a couple of months, so get those comments coming. So, a bit of a ramble this week, I'm sorry for that, but there was a few things I wanted to share. So, links down below for my business plan, for the book summary, and make sure that you comment on your challenges so that I can start writing a book on management consulting. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, I just need to point out the subscribe button, which is down there somewhere with a little bell next to it. If you hit that bell, you'll be notified. How does it work? It captures your email address or something. You hit that bell, you'll be notified every time we have a new video coming out. They come out every week on a Tuesday evening, Sydney time. So thanks for watching. I wish you every success in your management consulting career. If you're about to start up, don't be one of those 90%. I want to see you be successful, and I'd love to hear your success stories. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.